Hey y'all, I am so excited about today's episode. We got a good one today. Have y'all ever had a repair in your house that you don't know how to fix? I know, I got you. Y'all, we got a handyman on the shore today. So Travis, are you excited to be here?
I am.
I hope you help us all millennials navigate through our day-to-day renter, homeowner issues. I got a few that I would like to discuss.
All right.
But before we get into that, I think you should introduce yourself. But as you introduce yourself, we do a segment on the show called Lemons to Lemonade. So you share a story where you've turned a trial into a triumph, but also let us know who you are.
Okay. My name is Travis Denison. I am originally from New York. Moved out here in 2018, 2017, something like that. To Atlanta, and then purchased my first home in 2019 in Atlanta, and it was a duplex. So I was super excited because I was going to renovate one of the sides. I hired a friend of mine that he was a contractor or is a contractor to do the work, and I thought I can trust him. It was around my birthday, so I went to Cuba for about a week or so, and I trusted that he would take care of the work that was getting done. Came back, everything was in disarray. There was so much stuff. I ended up having to shower at the LA Fitness because my shower wasn't working. I had no sink. It was just terrible. And he told me everything would be at least working order by the time I got back. Had to pretty much start over from scratch. And that was kind of how I got into this field, this business as well. Figuring out that, if I can't trust anybody, let me just figure out, do it myself. With that, because my background, I'm an engineer, so my background kind of, with IT and stuff like that, I can just figure things out. I don't mind trying things, failing and just trying again. And it kind of helped me out during that process of, renovating my space, and then ended up renovating the other side as well, which I currently Airbnb. And now I'm able to sustain my my household, which allows me to run this business now.
So you left to do this full time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I left in 2020. I was working with a startup. We spun off, got funding literally right as COVID hit. I think we got funding in February. March is when everything went crazy. And then I was working from home, and that was the best and worst thing for me because, and doing IT is you only get called when things break, and nothing was breaking because no one's in the office. So ended up just doing this full time, and starting on the apps like TaskRabbit and what's the other ones out there, Bungie and stuff like that, doing little odd jobs. And then I said, you know what, let me pick this up and do it full time.
Okay, entrepreneur. Cheers.
Thank you.
So this came about because you were a first-time homeowner. So what are some of the common repairs that renters and homeowners experience?
I would say probably small things like leaks, leaky tubs, or not, the faucets are dripping, or even in the bathrooms or in the kitchen. That's common. That's super common. A lot of people see that and gets a lot of damage and stuff like that because we don't ever check. And I say that's one of the big things. You kind of have to get familiar with your home. You know what I mean? Kind of check things, and doors just being loose, because you don't screw things in. It's a lot of common actions that happen.
So in your Lemon to Lemonade, you shared that you being a first-time home buyer is what sparked this new career for you. So as a first-time home buyer or a renter, what are some of the common issues that people kind of encounter?
Man, there are a plethora of things that you would run into. Leaky pipes and faucets is common. Clogged drains. A lot of people tend to put oil down their drains when they shouldn't. Fixing a runny toilet. Especially a lot of people don't pay attention to the little nuances of their homes, sounds and stuff like that. If you hear drips, investigate. If you hear a little creak, investigate it. And that's typically when you try find things that's happening. Replacing air filters, People are nervous to either, sometimes your AC is in the attic or in the crawl space. But those are like common issues that people run into.
It's above me now. It's in God's hands. No, seriously. So he trying to tell my business, y'all. So I know that you're not supposed to put any grease down the clog, but like if it's just a little bit after you make some bacon or ground some beef.
Yeah, it does make a difference though, because even if that little bit, what happens, especially if you run like cold water after, it solidifies and it tends to hold on to the sides of the pipe, which makes it tighter and tighter, and water and other things tend to get caught up in that. So the best thing you can do is really, if you have a lot of grease, you grab your paper towel and just kind of dab it and ball that up, throw that in the trash.
But I got Drano though, right? That should work.
Oof, Drano is marketing. Drano is all marketing.
Really?
Because what it does, it will break everything down into like a sludge, but then that sludge itself ends up sitting and solidifying somewhere in your pipes. So either way, the best thing to really do is like snake it, or if for grease, run boiling hot water. Let's pour some boiling hot water down there.
So when should I call a plumber?
When?
Yeah, it's. I say that because right now it's water in my sink on both sides. I don't have a garbage disposal either.
Okay, that's an easy fix though. I promise you, it's such a very easy fix, and then you can fix it with no tools. All those pipes, especially nowadays, they're like PVC, so you can just unscrew them, grab you a couple towels and some gloves, because it's probably gonna be nasty when you get down there. And once you can get over that fear, fixing it yourself won't be an issue.
Lord have mercy. Don't buy a home, guys. That's a different conversation for a different day. Okay, how often are you supposed to change your air filter? Because you said something about that too.
Yeah, so air filters are funny. Depending on it normally says it on there, but depending on it
says it where?
It says it on the actual air filter or on the package. It'll say like this air filter is recommended for 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days, or whatever.
Just pop it in there. I've never read anything on it.
Yeah. Another common mistake people make with air filters too is putting it in the wrong way, like putting it backwards. So air filters, there's an arrow on there, and literally that's one of my things. Is follow the instructions. Everything is written down. Like you don't have to like really try this yourself, but everything is written down, and if you just put it in the proper direction, you can label it, put the date on there, so hey, when's the last time I changed it? Let me go check. So things like that, I would recommend treating your home like you would your car, and get oil changes regularly.
Okay, I do that. Okay.
Check your air pressure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you have those routine maintenance things that you do for your vehicle.
You should
do that for your home as well, because it's it's something you have to keep up.
That's a good way to think about it. Do you have like every 6-month maintenance checklist?
Yes.
You do?
A preventative maintenance. Yeah.
I'll share with the peeps.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Our company, we provide preventative maintenance services for like absentee Airbnb or renters, homeowners, who, they're not there. They just need someone to come and just do it, check around the home, and especially during the winter time, make sure no pipes have burst.
Yeah.
That's always good. It's super important just to kind of like, again, get familiar with your space. It's, the nuances of your home, especially if it's a newer home, you want to be able to experience everything that it has. Yeah.
So you said at some point, if you don't feel comfortable and you do think it's best to hire a contractor or call some type of serviceman, depending on the issue, I found that sometimes the people that come don't always present an environment that makes you feel emotionally safe or physically safe. So from a safety standpoint and financial, so like how you see me right now is how I am. So I might come across and be like, oh, this girl don't know what she's doing. I'm finna get over it. So how do you make sure you picking a contractor that's one, gonna make you feel safe, but two, what's the price range? Like what's too much? What's too little? Like how do you figure that out?
All right, I would recommend, getting 3 quotes is always something you should do. It's that's kind of just a little tip. And there's certain things you should look out for, especially when you're hiring someone for your home. Making sure they have some kind of insurance is good. Like you can hire person at, say, Home Depot or something like that, but you're going to get that type of service and that type of work. So, you kind of pay for what you get a lot of times. And not to say that someone won't, try and rip you off, because obviously there are those types of people. The best thing you can do for those situations, especially if it's a job that's kind of nuanced or something like that, is Google it. Google the average price of XYZ, you know what I'm saying, and in your area and stuff like that, so you can kind of get an idea. And then ask for an itemized list, because someone can just say, hey, it's going to cost $500, but they're not explaining how much of that is material, how much of that is labor. And then now once you get the labor costs, you can always compare that to what the average cost is for labor in that area.
So should you always have like a contract, or if it's like, hey, come over, fix this, I got you? Should it always be this set structured?
Not necessarily. There's small things like changing a light fixture, faucet, something like that you probably don't need to worry about a contract with. But if it's major work, anything that requires having to tear out or replace anything major, definitely get a contract. Definitely explain, have them explain the procedures and what they're doing, how they plan on getting paid. One of the big red flags is actually a contract that says, yeah, pay me half up front. Nah.
What they gonna do?
Nah, they'll run off on you.
Oh.
Yeah, they will run off on you. And that's a common thing, especially out here in Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I don't even say Atlanta. I really say it's anywhere. General. Yeah, in general, where there's just a lot of people, like, it's a big metropolitan. People think that they can just get away. So avoid stuff like that, You can purchase your own materials, and if you're willing or have the ability to pick up the whatever it is, if it's large or small, whatever based on your vehicle size. But those type of things you can do to make sure that someone's not taking advantage of you.
So you said red flag is half up front, half later. What are other major red flags?
Someone being too low ball, like, if they're saying, yeah, I can do it for $50. Nah, man, I know changing the toilet don't cost $50 to do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? And that's why you kind of want to know what the average is, because the market sets the rate, and there are things that you can, someone's too eager, to like rushing you to kind of make a decision. No, make the decision on your time. Don't ever make somebody feel like you have to do the job and you have to use them, because trust me, there are tons of people out here that will be helpful. Getting referrals is really good. Asking a friend, hey, hey girl, what you do about that leak you had last week? You know what I mean? And seeing how they resolved it, because they could have somebody that could be share their review and experience with them. So.
Okay, so next question. Actually, I got lost. We said red flags. Oh, that's where I want to go. Okay. So referrals, not know, half today, half later, and just kind of being mindful of the whole process. So we were talking earlier, and I was telling you all of my woes. I understand that there's a level of accountability that I should probably begin to accept. Like, there is no maintenance man that you can call to say, hey, come to my unit. I get it. So what are some of the common DIY repairs that people should just know how to do and not have to rely on external people?
All right. I'm going to touch on something else you just said, though. You're a homeowner.
Yeah.
Depending on the type of home you own, if it's a condo, townhome, some things are not your responsibility. So, and if you're a renter, obviously nothing major is your responsibility unless you create those damages. But if something was to happen, pipe burst, that's the landlord's or responsibility. But with HOAs, you want to make sure that you check your HOA policies, because sometimes if you live in like a attached condo or row home or something like that, you may only be responsible for what they call studs in. And everything on the outside of that, including the roof and anything underneath, is their responsibility. So the grounds, anything like that, So you want to make sure you understand those what your responsibilities are. As a homeowner, oh yeah, you're responsible for everything. Like if you own a single family detached home with no HOA, you are literally the lord of that land, and everything falls on your responsibility. However,
that was cute, lord of that land, like landlord.
But But you got to really, again, kind of get you a nice little list of people that you can call for those major things that can occur. That's going to, be your biggest resource to know that, hey, my HVAC goes out. I have somebody on demand. And if I have a plumber, But I guess to your first question of finding those people, interviews, talking to them and seeing how they communicate with you. If you ask them a question, do they get back to you 3 days later? Because the chances are that's how they don't have a good system. Either they're overworked or, to limit or whatever the case is. But a good company, a good handyman, even like a small company like ourselves, we have systems in place that we try to make sure that all of our customers are, taken care of and provided for within, a timely manner.
I love that customer service. That's what we need. So when you're thinking about doing DIY repairs, I would assume you need like a starter toolkit.
Yes.
So what should go in your first starter toolkit? And they have pink ones in Walmart, by the way. So I'll let him answer.
Oh man. So Amazon has like some really good starter kits for under like $50, or even under $100 if you want to get like, power tools and stuff like that. But I would say a good screwdriver, a hammer, tape measure, a level. There's so many times I've walked into people's houses and like, y'all just want to eyeball stuff.
Yeah.
Get a level.
Vibe. Let the spirit lead me.
Get a level. Some, pliers or something, that you would use to like grip or whatever. You can get them in different sizes. And definitely safety equipment, either whether it's just like some good quality gloves, eyewear, if you're doing anything that would require, anything flying or something like that. And you can kind of see what else you need based on the types of DIY projects you do. But did I mention power drill?
You did not mention the power drill. Power
drill is a good one. There are things that, especially with assembly, that you would want a power drill for, and then get one that's adjustable, that you're able to adjust the
well, I don't know what
the
that
torque
means.
on there.
The who?
The torque, how strong it is. Like sometimes you can.
What's torque?
Not torque.
I'm trying. Please explain, because I am confusion. Torque.
Yes.
Torque. Okay. Word of the day. G, can you put the definition on the screen?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead. You can explain as well.
Yeah, that would kind of help you not say over drill things or mess up any.
Oh, that's how you end up stripping the screw.
Yes, exactly.
I've done that quite a few times.
Yeah, because you either have it too high or sometimes they don't have limiters at all. So, you don't have to get anything like super professional, but you can get a nice one, like I said, on Amazon. Even Walmart now sells, I think they're called, I don't know, I'm not going to shout them out. But yeah, they have tools too.
Right, they need to pay for this placement. Now we know what to do to build our starter toolkit. How can millennials save money in other ways? We got our starter kit. Is there any other things that we can be doing outside of what you've mentioned?
I would say following instructions and doing a little bit of research before you dive into any project.
YouTube University,
yes. YouTube has a ton of resources. I forget this guy's name, but it's like your stepdad or your dad or something like that. Like, but he's basically teaches people how to repair stuff around their home, like your dad would. And he breaks it down super easy, super simple. And if you just kind of follow those steps, I watch it first. Don't just like dive into it. Yeah,
I got this.
But I think once you kind of get over the fear of I either might break something, or this is scary, or just I don't know how to do it. That's a great way to save money. Kind of this, but understanding that you also need to know your limit, because once you've reached a point where it's just like, all right, this is too much, I would just stop rather than trying to continue.
I got this. I'm determined. So there's two things. I'm on TikTok. You on TikTok?
I'm not on TikTok. No.
Not very demure. The two things that I always see on TikTok. One, people fire alarm just be beeping. Isn't it just go up there and change the battery?
It is very simple. Oh,
I did
a cool. You need to have a step ladder if you don't have a step ladder.
Oh, in your kit.
Yeah. That's a good
check.
Yeah,
but some of us are too short. So like there are light fixtures in my house that I still can't reach. So light bulb that's out now.
Oh man, see that's when hiring someone kind of makes sense, right?
For a light bulb?
Yeah. I mean, they're bringing those tools
gonna have to be out until somebody come over tall enough.
I mean, no, that's a good. Honestly, a lot of people don't use their resources. If it's something that they can fix and say, hey, my neighbor, I know he has a ladder I can borrow, or maybe I can just ask him to do it. Of course. You don't
millennials, we don't talk to our neighbors.
Nah, come on. Post it on TikTok then. I don't know what y'all do. Yeah. So with your the beeping sound that comes from your there actually a lot of people don't realize there's several reasons why your smoke alarm
not just
beeps.
the battery?
It's not just the battery.
Wow.
The smoke alarm is giving you a error code that you can just Google depending on the brand that you have. It'll tell you how many beeps or the interval between beeps is giving you a different code. Because they do expire. So you do need to replace them after a certain amount of years, and it does say that on there how long it'll last for. I think it's something to do with the I don't know, the chemical plating on one of the diodes on there that ends up expiring over time. But also being newer homes kind of have them all wired up, so it's not, if it's wired and you have your smoke detector wired, then it's not the battery. Normally it's something else.
We've been telling y'all need to change y'all smoke detector battery, and that's probably wrong. That's why you need to call somebody.
That's the other part about hiring a handyman or hiring kind of someone that has experience and expertise in the situation.
They would know that.
They know,
Be informed. The second thing is people trying to mount TVs and they falling off the wall.
Yes. Stud finder. Let's add that to the tool.
Your toolkit. I need a stud finder.
The Stud Buddy is a really good one. And the reason I recommend Stud Buddy, if you can find one of those, you have them all over. It's a magnet.
Oh, and
and you can just like move it on the wall, and what it does, it finds the screw that nailed the drywall to the stud. So it's super easy. You can't mess up on that. And it's a really, just fun way to kind of use it, finding
those studs. I actually have one.
You got a stud buddy? That's what's up.
I know a little something.
Yeah. There's new mounting kits now that doesn't require you finding the studs. Yeah. Depending on the size of the TV. So you can spread out, if you have a large enough surface area, you can spread out the weight and distribute it versus it just being on the stud alone. Normally when people mess up is that they don't distribute the weight properly on the mounts, and that's when it falls out. But you can use anchors. Sometimes studs might not be available, but there are anchors you can use that can hold up to a certain amount of weight. So anchors anchors that kind of go behind the wall in a sense and spread out and kind of exactly, and that allows it to kind of use the surface weight and spread out that the weight of the TV. But it's not for all TVs, it's not for all situations. You got to make sure the weight of your TV and if it's required an anchor or a stud.
Bug me now. Also, I hate wires, but my TVs are mounted, but the wires are showing. Okay, is that a DIY job?
It is actually. You can do that, and that's a very simple DIY job. Just YouTube would be your best resource for that, because you kind
of poke a hole through the wall.
No, usually wherever that light fixture, not the light fixture, rather the outlet fixture that is below the TV that you have it plugged in, there's a straight line up that you can run a wire down, and this, again, you might have to just look it up on YouTube, but and wire it yourself. It is more of an advanced DIY project. I wouldn't say it's for starters.
I told you I had a list.
But for those, for those DIYers, those are things you can do on your own for sure. Of course, take the safety precautions turn off the breaker and let everyone in the house know that you've turned off the breaker, because a lot of people I've seen and heard anecdotal stories about people, turning on power while someone's working on something, and it will cause an issue.
Issue in what kind of issue?
If you have like exposed wire,
like electrocution.
Yes, but you're not gonna. I mean, it may not kill you. I mean,
this is why usually where's the fear coming from? I don't want to be electrocuted.
But again, if you take those safety precautions, you're not gonna have those issues.
I just feel like, God places certain people and resources in our lives, and sometimes you should just call them.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Amen.
I think a good handyman is gonna actually not just try and get money off of you or whatever. They're gonna really try and help you with your home. You know what I mean? I think that's the thing that sets us apart, is that we're not like gatekeepers when it comes down to, fixing stuff in your home. If you want to watch me and I'll show you, and all my guys, like we have that policy of like, we'll show you how to do this.
I love that.
Because you might be able to do it on your own. And if it's something, hey, I have 20 outlets I need to change out, you're not going to hire me to do all 20. Of course, it's going to cost you a ton of money. But if you say, hey, I need you to teach me how to do, a couple of them, and just walking through the procedures, absolutely. Absolutely.
Before because that's a good segue. That's actually where I want to go next. Before we talk about the ATL Handyman and kind of the work that y'all do, is there anything else we should know about repairs, DIY, calling somebody, or do we cover all our bases?
Mainly, like a couple tips, like really safety first. Make sure you turn off the power and wear safety gear. Follow the instructions. Read and understand everything before you dive into it. Like I tend to visualize exactly what I'm going to do, and to make sure that, hey, if I run into an issue, I can, address that issue at that time. So, and then having the proper tools for that as well does make a big difference. And then just knowing your limits, knowing that, hey, I don't think this is something I can do, and being able to call somebody.
Tell them to do it. Okay, so now that we've covered our bases on how to be prepared to do, what did you call them? Your routine?
Okay, yeah, preventative maintenance.
Your preventative maintenance, and we're going to provide the checklist to them, right?
Yes.
Okay, it'll be linked in the description box. I love when I get to say that. Okay, so the next part of the conversation that I did not prep you for, but I think you're going to do fine, is you've built this brand, the ATL Handyman. So I found you just from like stalking the other people that come on the show pages. I'm like, okay, who are they connected to that we can have on the show? And I was like, oh my gosh, this is a good idea. So how did you begin to build that brand? How did it take off so wildly? By the grace of God. Can you put an organ sound right here? I'm sorry. I've been joking. Kind of. Not really.
I'll see what happens.
I would just say a series of fortunate events. Like I said, COVID occurred. I mean, that's not fortunate, but it allowed me the ability to kind of start doing things on my own. I was working in my own home as well. My neighbors, I live in like a community where there are a lot of older folks there, older homeowners. They would have a ton of stuff that they would need done. And they would see me running back and forth with tools and stuff like that. So they would ask me, hey, can you come take a look at this? I'm like, yeah, sure. And they would refer me to people. And one lady in particular, she mentioned me at a city council meeting.
Oh, wow.
And I got like a ton of work through that, of course, but one of the city council folks just kind of recognized what I was doing and gave us, this is a year actually, doing the work now. She gave us a plaque of, what do you call those, proclamation or whatnot?
You stamped and certified.
Yeah, we are Atlanta's official handyman.
What? I'm honored. We having celebs on the show.
Yeah, we have a day in Atlanta.
What's your day?
May 22nd is
we
ATL Handyman Day.
We could have posted this show on May 22nd.
That's fine. That's next year.
Part 2.
Yeah, boom. But and it's kind of I just really just kept it to my core values of really taking care of everything I did. I really wasn't like doing it for the money. It's more for the experience, starting out. And then after a while I said, let's just kind of go at this full time. One thing I do want to mention, my frat brother, he during COVID, he's
What frat?
I'm an alpha.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
First fan, what up?
Yeah.
Nah, but yeah, my frat brother, he's a DJ, and he because of COVID was kind of out of work, and I was like, yo, bro, this, I have some extra tools, come on, pull up, and we just started just doing stuff together. As I was learning, he was learning, and I was able to teach him certain stuff as well, to the point now that he's been able to like supplement a lot of his income just doing side jobs on his own. You know what I mean? He currently owns like a couple clubs, and he's just out here building stages and doing like stuff on his own, mounting TVs, and it's so cool seeing like the people kind of flourish. My team that I've worked with over the years, I really applaud them for just, having the ability to learn. I brought on family members, like my dad has been super helpful, my brother.
So cute. Father's son.
Yeah, he's an electrician, so I kind of learned, I calling him like, hey dad, he'll walk me through certain stuff if I ran into any issues down the road or anything like that. My cousins, I have 2 cousins and a nephew that they all came out here and helped me out every once in a while. But it was just a really good experience, and we just kept loyal to our customers, and they just started referring us. And
You better lift as you climb. So what does ATL Handyman offer? Like, what can you do? You just a general handyman? Are there areas that you specialize in?
Yeah, all right. So that's a good question, because not every handyman can do everything, and a lot of people really got to learn that. Like, just because they can do, say, fix some plumbing doesn't mean that they can do your tile. Don't mean they can, there's just so much nuance in taking care of a home that you really want to find someone that specializes in certain areas, because that's when, their expertise is in those. So I would say for what we do, we primarily work with a lot of designers. Like home designers. Blessed Little Bungalows one. Ivy Leaf is another one of our big designers that we work with, and Sean with the Boardroom. They do like accent walls and stuff. So we work with these folks whenever people want to come and get their homes refreshed or redesigned. And these are people I've met actually. We've been on like HGTV and A&E, and I met them through those resources. Yeah.
You gotta have a resume to come on here. I'm just saying. We welcome everybody.
But yeah, like I said, I've really been blessed. The amount of accolades, I probably can't even. I'm forgetting some. Like, and again, it's this great customer service we've been able to provide. Again, we're not out here trying to take advantage of people, and they realize that. I think, to your point, being a single female owning a home, especially Black out here, there's a lot of people that just see you in this quick lick. And
she got some money. She working tech. Oh, I hate that. I don't got no money for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and really, it's just like, it shouldn't matter how much you make, kind of how large your house is, what kind of car you drive. It's like we should be able to provide the same service you would provide to your own mom. You know what I mean? To your auntie, to your cousin, that we would provide to any of our customers. So that's the kind of approach we try to take with stuff.
So I heard like accent walls. What about like closets? Do you do that kind of work? Yeah,
building out closets. I would say if you have even like small stuff. So I don't want to tell people that, hey, we only do like these things. Yeah, if you have something small, hey, my cabinet, it's falling apart or whatever, this needs to be tightened up. We'll offer like a handyman service where we just come and do like your honey-do list or something like that. Like, hey, I got like these 10 things I know. And then we charge by the hour for stuff like that. But then there's other projects where it's like, I want to mount a TV or create like an accent wall and kind of create these things. Those are the kind of things we like to specialize in, especially smart home stuff. So, but you can check our website
got
out.
Me.
Yeah. Oh, for the smart homes? Yeah.
That guy
and that contract.
Yeah,
they'll hold you.
He knocked on the door. I shouldn't have answered. I told you what I tell you. People be trying to get you. Okay, but I interrupted you.
Nah,
check out your website.
Oh yeah, check out our website,
which is
404 ATL Handyman. And then you can .com. And then you can always find us on Instagram at ATL Handyman. on Instagram, and shoot us a DM, send us a request on our website. You can submit a request, and of course, the more details you give, the more better it is for us to understand. And then, with estimates too, a lot of people with different handyman, you want to make sure that you're providing as many details, but not everyone is going to come out to your job. Like I get to your site, like to your job site, to kind of this get it to provide estimates.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, not everyone's just going to come out there because, of course, it takes time. You know what I mean? And folks are busy and they're not, just sitting around, So if you're looking for someone to come out, usually don't be surprised to be charged like a service fee or a travel fee or something like that.
For the estimate, and then you got to come back and do the job?
If they can do the job at that point. Again, if you provide as much details up front by documenting certain stuff, either taking photos of it, describing what is occurring. Hey, the sound is kind of like a tick, tick, tick versus a grinding. You know what I mean? So now he kind of understands what it is that, or she understands what it is that they're looking for. Which, by the way, there are a lot of female handy women out here. I work with someone. Her I think her monogram is, or her Instagram name is Contract Her, and she's super dope. She's like renovating this huge $1 million property right now, and she's just doing an amazing job.
That's actually a good point. So to people who actually see this as a career that they would be interested in, how would you tell people to get into it? Just do it.
Start with your own home. Taking something apart, not to it doesn't necessarily have to be broken, but just taking it apart and putting it back together, just to kind of understand how that thing works, is going to be the best thing. For me, like I said, I was in IT before, doing engineering, stuff like that. Taking apart something was just kind of, second nature for me. Anytime I got a computer or any toy or something like that, turn that thing over and I'm taking it apart just to kind of see how it works. And that should be the approach you should, try and take if you want to get into this business, because you want to be able to understand everything about a home before you kind of start breaking things down and breaking things up.
Gonna do?
Yeah, so
that makes sense. You said this is not about this at all, but you said something that sparked another show that we had. So I had a friend of mine on talking about entrepreneurship, and then you mentioned startups, which makes me think about the difference between a startup and a small business. And you said that you were able to really get kicked off because you got funding. So are you trying to grow the ATL Handyman brand so that you can eventually sell it one day, or is it like, I'm just having fun right now?
Right now, honestly, I'm having fun. I've been doing real estate since 2016. So that's this kind of was just an adjacency to it. I was like, well, I'm already fixing my own homes. I have about 4 properties out here in Atlanta. So and
real estate
through that, I've been able, to network with people who have, hey, I got a project I need somebody to come work on. Hey, what are you doing with this? I'm trying to sell it. Let me buy it from you. You know what I mean? So you kind of get those kind of network opportunities being in this field as well. And then understanding how homes are being built helps me know how, when I'm working with other contracts on my own properties or something like that, what it looks like, what they're supposed to be doing. Because again, I don't do everything. You know what I mean? There's some stuff I got to hire people to do myself. But understanding how it's done makes it much easier when you're watching someone doing it to make sure they're doing it properly.
Yeah. Nice. This was a good conversation. How does it feel? You feel good?
I feel good.
I think it was great. So we got to have a part 2 though, because I think you've had some really interesting career shifts that you've done a lot of different things that would be helpful to dive into.
I think, especially being, when people ask me, hey, what do you do? Which is a common question in Atlanta. I just tell them I'm a handyman. Yeah, I'm a handyman. And but when they hear me, talk and I'm explaining stuff to them, and they're like, you have to have done something else before, right? I think we don't give handymen or people who understand this field as much respect that they deserve, because this is to build a home, to understand how these things work. It takes so much knowledge. So it is a lot of great folks out here. Sean can fix it. Shout out to him on Instagram as well. He's one of the folks that really helped me get started. I would just hit him up whenever I needed help with something, and he would just pull up and help me knock it out. But networking, you know what I mean, has really been this paramount to like building your brand and building like everything knowledge. So.
Well, perfect. Well, thank you again for coming. I know I've learned something. Hopefully the crowd has learned. Did y'all learn something back there? Oh, we got real-time feedback. Well, thank y'all so much for tuning in to this episode. Don't forget to come back next Wednesday when the next one drops. And please like, comment, subscribe, and share this with a friend who will benefit. See y'all next week.